I had a quick question for you, Dr. Price.
Yeah, man, fire
So
away.
when it comes to kind of like evaluating input versus output for like just general decision making,
Okay.
um, I'm having a difficult time like trying to analyze how valuable this research project that I'm doing is. It's a cadaveric research project, and like the data that we've been getting, it's like it's getting somewhere, but the demand for the project is getting a little bit, I'm not going to say ridiculous, but it is definitely taking time away from content knowledge and review. And I don't really know how valuable program directors or other academic people would kind of look at a cadaveric project compared to others. Wanted to see what you have to say.
Great question. How much per week, time-wise, is this allocation costing you?
I would probably, I mean, I've been working on it for the past year, and it's been a little bit every single week, so probably about like 2 to 3 hours per week for the past year, I would say. So it's been a lot.
Okay. Second, you have to evaluate the opportunity cost. Okay, and so what does opportunity cost mean? I'm going to put a definition here. It's my own definition. It's not like Webster's dictionary by any means, but it's basically, what do you lose by focusing on this specific task? Okay, so anytime you allocate 1 hour, it's something that could be for your health, wealth, love, happiness, or it could be something totally different. And either way, it has to be something that you feel is the best use of your 1 hour. And I think that's basically what this question is what is the opportunity cost of this project? Okay, so if you're losing 2 to 3 hours per week, you have to ask yourself, can this time be better allocated? And so for during med school, I kind of look at it like this. So number one is, do your grades need improvement? Because, and I'm just going to answer this generically for everybody, so everybody can also extrapolate their own situation out of this. So pretty much, whether it's if you're in your preclinical years, obviously grades matter. If you're in your actual rotations, your shelves matter. If you're preparing for step 2, obviously your practice tests matter. And so do your grades overall need improvement? If you're not even close to reaching your potential in that regard, then projects need to sit by the wayside until you get that up to where it needs to be. Okay, so that's the first thing. Number 2 is, do you have a, and I'll put in quotes here, full pipeline of projects that can fulfill this aspect of your application if you quit this specific project? Okay, and so the reason that that's important is because if this is the only research project you have and you have nothing else lined up, you have no other prospective projects, then I would recommend to keep it going. Fix this. So let me just kind of put some data points here. So focus on scores until you have available free time, i.e. you're scoring greater than 90% plus or whatever your personal threshold is. That's number 1. For number 2 is fix this. Keep this specific research project on the burner until you have other projects lined up. Okay, so if you don't have a full pipeline, I don't recommend dropping a research project until you have something else to replace it. Because just think, you could get another project and it could also take you 2 to 3 hours a week. And then you're back to where you started, minus essentially the year that you put into this. So those are my first 2 steps. Step number 3 is, does this look extremely strong on your application? And so to analyze this, is this research project within your scope of expertise of your future specialty? Like, for example, if you're doing a cadaver project and your future specialty is psychiatry, probably not going to help you, right? Like, it's not at all applicable to your future. If you're doing a cadaver project and your future specialty is surgical related, then sure, it probably would be helpful for you because that's something that would be looked strongly upon. And so I analyze it like this. Is this something that will directly be something I would want to talk about on interviews? And so that's the question I ask myself. Is this something I would want to talk about on interviews? Okay, that's kind of the most important thing to think about, because just doing a project just for the sake of doing it, if it's not going to be something that long term has any impact or ramifications on your specialty, your area of interest, or anything like that, waste your time. All right, number 4 is, can I outsource it? Okay, so that's really the most important thing to be asking yourself at this point. So when you think about kind of inputs versus outputs, you need to think, is there a way that I can have somebody else do this for me? Okay, and so that's not like, oh, like, let's just kick off the work, but it's like being strategic about it. Like, is there somebody that would like to do what I am currently doing and I'm not liking to do? It's not the best use of my time currently, because For example, if you're an M4 on rotations and you've already taken your step 2, you're done with your boards and you're kind of just chilling on the weekends, like you might want to get an extra publication, and somebody might want to do that extra legwork because they don't have to be studying for something super intensely right now. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's an M1 that would really like to jump in and at least get involved with something so they have their pipeline full. So just because you don't personally want to do it at this exact moment doesn't mean that other people won't want to. Does that make number 4? There's like some subcategories of it. So number 1 for this is, can I automate it? And so is there a way that you can automate this? So leverage AI, etc. Okay. Next thing is, can I give it to a colleague? And so ask someone else would be the step for that. The next one is, can I pay someone to do it? Okay, so you can create a job posting for it on Fiverr or TaskRabbit, or pay a virtual assistant to do it, etc. It's kind of all comes down to, what is your time worth hour by hour? If this project is worth a lot to you, you think it's going to make your application really strong, and you've already put in a lot of time into it, then it's better to either give part of it away and maybe they get a higher level of authorship than you on the project. It's fine, you're still on the project. Or it's better to pay somebody to do the manual labor aspect of it. If it's just compiling sources, if it's editing, if it's proofreading, you can literally pay anybody to proofread stuff online. So think about what are the minimum effective tasks within each subtask of the project itself that you can actually train somebody to do, and then they can do it. And then the last thing that I want you to think about, number 5, is what is sunk cost? Okay. And so the sunk cost is, if you have already allocated a ton of time to a project, it often feels more painful to give it up than if it was something that you just started. All right. So don't allow the sunk cost to cloud your vision. So if you can't automate it, you can't delegate it. So give it to a colleague. That falls under delegate. Can I pay somebody to do it? That's also kind of delegating. And then the last part of this outsourcing would be to eliminate it. So can I eliminate certain aspects of the project? Okay, so that's like, if in your head you thought maybe you needed 50 sources, why not just cut it down to 40? You know what I mean? Like, can I eliminate part of it to just get this done with? And so think about yourself, like if you can't do any of these 4 things here, so all the points up here under number 4, if you can't do any of that to really refine this, then think about, is the sunk cost worth it? So is the 50 hours you put into this worth another 50 hours? Assume that you're going to put in at least as much time as you've already put in, because every project seems to last longer than you expect it to. If this is the case, then you have to have a real conversation, make a pro and cons list for yourself of all these things, and then analyze, is this worth my time? Is it not worth my time? If up here at number 1, if your grades are like really in the toilet, and I'm not speaking to you directly, I'm speaking generally, if your grades are really in the toilet, then that's your answer right there. Like, you need to basically focus down on the things that are going to be the biggest needle movers for your career. You could have 70 publications, but if you score 1 point above passing, then that doesn't really matter, right? Like, you're just not going to get enough interviews anyways. So you have to think about what's the most impactful for your career, allocate your time to that, and then get it done.